Hi, I'm Ryan with OurDebtFreeLives.com. Today I'm going to talk about really where to get started. So if you've never invested before, or if you just started investing, this is a great video. We're going to go over some of the brokerage accounts and what to look for and which ones are really going to fit you. So the first thing you may be asking is, how do I go about trading stocks or funds, mutual funds, or ETFs? Now, to do this, you'll need a brokerage account, and you may have heard of companies like Fidelity, E-Trade. You may have seen their commercials, Charles Schwab. There's a number of different brokers online, so finding the right one for you can be difficult, but we're going to make it easy in this video. So the first thing you want to do is go through and try to understand, what are you trying to accomplish? So for me personally, I have a brokerage account that's a personal one that I use for trading. Then I have a 401k, and then a Roth IRA, and then an IRA. So I've got a number of different accounts, and all of my accounts are through Fidelity. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is I used to have a few different brokerage companies, and it was kind of a pain to go through. I'd have to log into each one to see all of my accounts. So one of the things that I was looking for is a brokerage company that I could really consolidate everything and have it in one location. And Fidelity was actually a company that provided that service for me. So I have a 401k right now currently through Micron, and they use Fidelity. So I transferred over, I used to work at HP, so I transferred over my 401k to Fidelity, and then also moved all of my personal brokerage accounts, the ones that I do personal trades on, over to Fidelity also. So one of the first things you'll want to look at is really understand, what do you need? So if you're planning for retirement, or just something as simple as a personal account that you want to put some money into and do some short-term trades. Now, one of the things to consider is, you'll notice you have these brokerage companies, they're called discount brokers. Now, these brokerage companies, one of the issues you're going to have with these discount is they usually don't provide the same services. So for example, with Fidelity, I have access to a number of different tools. So they have a budgeting tool, they have also a planning tool for your retirement. So you can go through, you enter your current information, and they'll project out how much money you're going to need in retirement, and you'll put what you're expected to spend. And they do some of the calculations for you. So what are you expected to spend in retirement on medical expenses is one of them. So if you go through, when you start to look at these different brokerage accounts, there's a few things to take into consideration, and that's one of them, is really, what are you trying to get out? With the discount broker, they are going to have cheaper trades. So if you are trading frequently, maybe that's important to you, or you're wanting a mix kind of both. You're wanting something that has fairly low costs, so transaction fees, and then also you want something that also provides you with additional services to help you plan for retirement or whatever goal you may have. So the next thing I want to cover is, when you look at transaction fees, one of the things to take into consideration, and one of the things that I always looked at when I first started shopping around, you have your traditional transaction fees. So for example, if you buy 200 shares of Apple, you may have a cost of, let's say with Fidelity, it's $4.95. Now, with some of the brokerage companies, you're going to notice that that cost may fluctuate. So they may have a very low introductory rates, and that may be, you may get a special rate. So for example, let's say with Charles Schwab, you have a $100,000 balance. Well, if you have a $100,000 balance, then your transaction fees are maybe at a discount. So that's one of the things you have to look when you're looking at these brokerage companies. In our website, we actually go through and we line out about 10 different brokers on there, and we list out, really, who is it ideal for? What are the minimums? So with some of the accounts, for example, if you have Fidelity to open an IRA, it may be a $0 minimum. But you may have other accounts, E-Trade, it may be $500 minimum in order to open an account. So that's one of the things to take into consideration also. If you're looking to just get started and you want to start socking away some money over time, for example, I have in Fidelity, I have a setup from my paycheck, a direct deposit that goes into Fidelity. It's an amount that I have set in addition to my 401k that allows me to go through and save. And again, it's kind of building that balance. But if you didn't have the initial minimum, you can't open that account until you do. So again, there's a few things that you have to read in the fine print. And like I said, our website outlines transaction fees, minimums, the account types, and then goes over pros and cons of all the different ones. So once you've gone through and you've decided really what you want to get out of the brokerage company, again, what is your ultimate goal? Then the next step is to go through and sign up. And most of them are fairly easy and you can do online. Some of the disadvantages to the online brokers, the discounted online brokers, is they may not have their apps, may not be up to par with, for example, some of the bigger companies. There's going to be limitations as far as some of the software that they provide. So for example, with Fidelity, they have Active Trader Pro, which gives you a lot more in-depth information. You can see real time what's going on. So in the market when it's open, of course. So there's a number of different things to consider. Now, once you've gone through and decided which brokerage company you want to go with, after you go and you set up the initial account, one of the things that I do recommend is having a setup to where you automatically transfer money over. If you're trying to save, that's the easiest way to do it. If you have a budget outlined, I'm going to have $20 every week or $20 every paycheck go to the accounts. And then once you start to accumulate a decent balance, then you can go through and start to look at trades. And we'll talk a little bit further about that. The other thing to take into consideration is some of the online brokers also have the ability to give you zero cost transactions on some of their funds. So if you go through Fidelity and you're with Fidelity, you may have all of Fidelity's funds available to you at no cost, so there's no transaction fee that you have to pay. You'll have to pay, for example, their mutual funds, you'll still have to pay the expense fee, which we'll cover in later videos. But as far as upfront costs go, they usually will waive them. So that's another thing to take into consideration is with these larger brokerage companies, they have a lot more of these offers since they have their own funds. So that's definitely one thing to take into consideration. So after you've gone through and determined which one is best for you and you get the account opened, the next step would be, where do I go? Which investments? What are my options? And we'll cover that in the next video. We'll cover ETFs, mutual funds, really the basics of investing, whether you want to invest in personal stocks, which I don't recommend for someone just beginning. But if that is something that you're interested in, again, we'll cover that in later videos. And if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to send me an email, or you can go through in the description below, click the link there, and then like I said, that'll have access to all of the different brokerage companies that we've reviewed, and we've gone through and, like I said, listed out the different accounts that they provide, minimums, who it's ideal for, and then the pros and cons of the different companies. Thank you for watching this video, and if you do like it and you found it helpful, please hit the like button or subscribe. Bye.